It all starts with a notification, and then another, and another. Even after blocking, deleting, or uninstalling the app, the messages continue. I see you. There's no point in hiding. If you don't want to experience the fear of being followed, subscribe to the channel now and turn on notifications. That way, at least you'll know when they're coming back. The man who never took no for an answer. It all began with a simple notification. You have a new match. Clara, 28, single, and living in a mid-sized city in the countryside, opened her dating app and found Daniel's photo. The man seemed nice, with an open smile and unpretentious description. Just a guy who enjoys interesting conversations and good coffee. The conversation flowed naturally, and in a few days, they made a date at a coffee shop downtown. The date was uneventful, but without the spark that Clara expected. Daniel was gentle, but something in his intensity made her uncomfortable. When they said goodbye, she thanked him and said she didn't feel they had enough connection for a second date. He smiled politely and replied, "I understand, no problem." In the following days, Clara noticed something strange. The day after the date, while running in the park in the morning, she saw Daniel sitting on a bench. The park was far from her house, and she had never mentioned her habit of running early. She pretended not to see him and continued on her way. The following week, she went to the supermarket and felt a chill when she noticed Daniel in the opposite aisle, watching her. This time he greeted her with a smile. "What a coincidence," he said. Clara smiled uncomfortably, paid for her groceries, and left quickly. The coincidences became frequent. Daniel appeared at the gym that Clara had been attending for years, signing up a few days after the date. Strange messages started arriving from unknown numbers. "You look beautiful in red today. I like your new haircut." Clara changed her habits, altering routes and schedules, but Daniel always seemed to find a way to run into her. One night, after leaving work, Clara noticed a car following her. Her heart raced. She made unnecessary turns and entered busy streets, but the black vehicle kept its distance. Arriving home, she locked doors and windows, but felt a chill when she looked through the curtain and saw the car parked across the street. The next day, she went to the police station and reported what had happened. The police advised her to change her passwords and be careful. When the investigators analyzed the car that was following her, they discovered it belonged to Daniel. They also found a tracking device installed under the bumper of Clara's car. Daniel was arrested but released days later. A protective order was granted, but Clara was never able to sleep peacefully again. She moved to another city, deleted her online profiles, and started looking in the rearview mirror at every new turn. Some months later, she received a message on a new number. "I like your new city. See you soon." The fake profile and the kidnapping plot. Lucas has always been cautious about online relationships, but when he met Marina on a dating app, something in him relaxed. Her profile showed natural photos, a sweet smile, and interests that matched his. Travel, suspense books, and hiking. The conversations flowed quickly, and in a few weeks they made a date. The chosen location was a coffee shop in the city center, a public environment that seemed safe. Lucas arrived at the agreed time, but Marina didn't show up. He tried to call and send messages, but no response. Soon after, a notification arrived. "Sorry, I can't go today. Can we reschedule?" Lucas was disappointed but accepted. However, an uncomfortable feeling accompanied him that night. When reviewing Marina's profile, he realized that some photos seemed generic, like those from stock photo websites. He decided to use a reverse image search tool and, to his horror, discovered that the photos belonged to an American blogger who had never been to Brazil. Suspicion turned to panic when, the next day, Lucas noticed a car parked near his house, the same one he had seen in the last 2 weeks. He tried to convince himself it was a coincidence until he received a message from an unknown number. "We like your routine. Tomorrow, bring your cell phone, but don't call the police." Lucas ran to the police station. The investigators discovered that Marina's profile was linked to a criminal network specializing in kidnappings through dating apps. The identified car was a cloned vehicle, and the location of the last connection pointed to a remote warehouse. That night, Lucas was taken to a temporary shelter and advised not to use his cell phone. Days later, the police raided the warehouse and found evidence of a detailed plan for his kidnapping, including photos taken without his knowledge. Lucas survived, but the fear never left him. He deactivated his social media, moved to another city, and became suspicious of any new face. And even so, sometimes he still receives anonymous messages saying, "We miss you, Lucas. See you soon." The invisible companion. Isabella never imagined that a simple date made through a dating app could turn her life into a nightmare. She met Raphael, an apparently nice and attentive man. The conversations were light, funny, and natural. After a few weeks, they agreed to meet for dinner at Isabella's favorite restaurant. The night was pleasant, but Isabella felt a slight strangeness in Raphael's behavior. He asked too many questions about her routine, where she worked, what time she usually left, where she usually ran. Even uncomfortable, she tried to dismiss it. 2 days after the date, she noticed a black car parked near her house. The vehicle was there in the morning, at night, and sometimes followed her route to work. At first, she thought it was a coincidence, until she received an anonymous message. "You look beautiful in that blue blouse." She was in fact wearing a blue blouse at that moment. Desperate, she went to the police station. The police suggested she check the car. When she took it to a specialized workshop, they found a GPS tracker installed under the bumper. The device had been placed shortly after the date with Raphael. The police started an investigation and located Raphael. In his house, they discovered photos of Isabella, details about her routine, and surveillance equipment. Raphael was arrested but released after paying bail. Isabella changed her address, changed her number, and deactivated all social media. But the trauma remained. One night, while parking in front of her new apartment, a message appeared on her cell phone. "I found you again." The apartment on Silent Street. Carla has always been distrustful of dating app meetings, but after months of isolation, she decided to give Tiago a chance. His profile showed a nice man, passionate about hiking and old movies, as well as having a respectful and intelligent approach in conversations. After a few weeks of exchanging messages, they agreed to meet for dinner. The meeting occurred without incident. Tiago was charming and engaging, but there was something in his eyes that bothered Carla, a silent intensity. When he invited her for wine at his apartment, she politely declined. Tiago insisted, but eventually accepted the no with a contained smile. In the following days, Carla noticed something strange. Whenever she passed the street on her way to work, she felt watched. One night, she heard footsteps behind her and, turning around, saw only a silhouette disappearing into the alley. Thinking she was being paranoid, she decided to ignore it. A week later, Carla received a call from her building's janitor. A man had been seen on cameras entering the building during the night. The face was partially covered, but the posture and physical build were familiar. The janitor recommended that she check the apartment. Upon opening the door, Carla found a note on the kitchen table. "You should have accepted the wine." Panic took over her body. She called the police and spent the night in a hotel. The apartment was searched, but nothing beyond the note was found. Tiago disappeared from the app. The phone number provided was fake, and the profile was deleted. The case was never solved. Carla changed the locks, moved a few months later, and began to avoid any online contact. Years later, in a new city, Carla was relaxing on the sofa when the doorbell rang. On the intercom, a familiar voice asked, "Now will you accept the wine?" The shadow in the parking lot. Anna was an independent woman, used to solving everything on her own. After months of insistence from friends, she decided to download a dating app. She wasn't looking for something serious, just to meet new people. That's how she found Felipe, polite, funny, and with a discreet charm. They talked for weeks until they decided to meet at a busy bar in the city. The meeting was pleasant. Felipe was attentive, asked questions about her life, and listened with interest. However, Ana realized that he avoided talking about himself. At the end of the night, she refused the invitation for a second round and went home. That same night, while parking in the building, she saw a black car parked at the end of the parking lot. She didn't recognize the vehicle, but thought it belonged to a neighbor. In the following days, the car was still there, at different times, always parked in the same spot. One morning, she found a deep scratch on the car door with the words, "Have you noticed me now?" Ana went to the police and reported what had happened. They installed cameras in the parking lot and reinforced the building's security. The following week, the images showed a hooded man prowling around her vehicle. The hood covered his face, but the posture reminded her of someone she knew. A deeper analysis revealed the man, Felipe. He had followed Ana to her house and was monitoring her routine. The police were called, but Felipe disappeared before he could be found. Ana moved to a new neighborhood, installed alarms, and avoided going out at night. Months later, while leaving work, she noticed a sticker on the rearview mirror. "Miss, hearing from you." Desperate, she went directly to the police station. The police asked her to wait while they reviewed the cameras. The recording showed Felipe in the parking lot, sticking the sticker on the car. But the detail that chilled Ana's blood was the time. The recording was made the night before, and she knew she had removed the sticker that morning. The officer looked at her, pale. "Ma'am, he's in your car now."